Thank you for tuning into Trill TV. Today we have an amazing guest, this amazing woman right here, Tracy Alves. And this woman is like a Renaissance woman. She does everything. What doesn't she do? I'm holding in my hand just one of her books. It's just one, her first book called Daddy Issues. So, Tracy, everybody knows you as Snakecharma from radio. Indie Report, they know you all about that, but I don't know if people know that you're an author. I don't know if people know. I didn't know that you're involved in, I don't know what you call it. You're like an official mentor.
Yeah.
You're and you have ties with Washington. You were like an administrator with Washington.
I'll break it down for you.
Yeah.
I'll break it down for you. So, hello everyone. I'm Trace, also known as Miss Snakecharma. It's for commercial use only. That's what my mama says. So, Miss Alves today. So, real quickly, thank you for allowing me to be on Trill TV. It's a blessing. Women like you inspire me. Outside of radio, I'm known as Miss Snakecharma. I deal closely with music industry professionals, and I have a morning show called the Music and Motivation Morning Show on WRBB, which is in Boston. Outside of that, I've been an admin professional specialist for going on almost 20 years. And when you mentioned the acknowledgement with Washington, as a program support assistant for Veterans Affairs, I was working in education. I was able to go through some leadership trainings, and I was involved with the diversity committee. I coordinated the Women's Special Emphasis program. I did a lot with annual observances, which is like Women's History Month and Black History Month, just highlighting cultural diversity. So what I did was I developed and I created a lot of posters and brochures and things like that to highlight an event that was being sponsored by the Veterans Affairs. And I did receive an award from the Secretary out of Washington for designing some of those things. That was one of my accomplishments that I shared with you, that I thought was something that inspired me and encouraged me to move forward in coaching and mentoring. While I was taking up trainings in leadership, I was offered the opportunity to be a coach and a mentor, so I went through a program and I got certified nationally to do that. So with my background in administration and education and my love for music and writing, I wanted to land like a position on a radio station that I would be able to utilize my skills from my day job and be a blessing to those who I felt were reaching for that, that fame or that path in the business, in the music business. So that's when I became involved with the Indie Report and WRBB. But I worked on numerous platforms, from internet radio to pirate stations. Yeah, and then I linked up with, shout out to Norman Bates, I linked up with a DJ at WRBB, and we built a show that was called Dope Boys Radio. Okay. Dope Boys. And then there was, growth that took place, and it just led to one thing to another. So I've been at WRBB for a little over 5 years.
Wow.
And I landed my own morning show. And,
nice. Yeah.
And then yes, I'm Martha. So, yeah.
How did you now? Okay, yeah, I know you've done so much. So now, like you said that, when you were younger, you always came from a musical family and you were involved in that. You also wanted to into writing. So, like, were you that kid in school? Classes, writing?
Yeah, God is good. I always kept like 3.7 grade point average. I was always in advanced classes. I loved English and writing and expressing, your feelings. And in high school, it's kind of funny. I was kind of a tomboy. I played a lot of sports.
Yeah.
My team won championships and all that good
stuff.
What
teams were they? I want to know.
So I grew up in Brockton. I was born in Boston. I grew up in Brockton. So my middle school team, South Junior High, shout out to the South Side. We won championship. I went to Southeastern, which is a trade school. I went to some other high schools, but my mother was real big on education. She wanted me to experience trades and things like that. So I went to that school, which, it was D4 or D3, but we still won a championship there. We was the first women to win a championship basketball is my thing.
Nice.
But needless to say, in high school, I had a lot of male friends. So a lot of them was getting incarcerated. A lot of them had that barrier with communicating to their girls and stuff and keeping their relationships. So I was ghostwriting for them love letters in the gym. Yeah, my buddies, I was ghostwriting for them poems for their shorties. Yeah, I just love writing. And then a couple of my family members had studios, so I'll do writing for authors. And in middle school, I wrote an essay that was published overseas. Yeah.
What was it about?
So it was about drug abuse, resistance, and education, something like that. So positive, like I was really like popular. I felt like so. I had one of the officers in the Brockton area. Shout out to him. I can't remember his name, but he was one of them cool officers that didn't just want to lock you up, right? You know, that wanted to actually see the hood win. So he came to me and he knew the influence that I had on a lot of my classmates, and also the respect I got from my teachers, because they couldn't take that away from me. Like, despite who I hung out with or what they was getting to or doing, or even what I did and made mistakes, I still had that respect from the professionals, my teachers and stuff. I was always an A student, so I was like, Trees, you should write an essay, and I ended up winning. I just, about drugs, and at that time, like, it's crazy because I felt like, I kind of felt embarrassed because I didn't want my buddies to be like, dang, Trees, you're working with the cops or anything like that. But at the same time, a lot of my friends was dealing with drug addiction and getting locked up and things like that. So for me to be able to do that so young, I just knew that God had bigger plans for me. And ever since then, I've been dealing with things, but as long as I've been putting God first, I've been ending up.
Yeah, and you do, because I know you always give God credit first. You're also a very spiritual person, and you're always so proud. Because every time I met you, it was the first time I met you stand up. A long time ago. And you were so nice. I didn't know who you were, but you were just so sweet and so nice and so humble. And like you do all of these things. And really, I think you're like a real encouragement to people and encouragement to me. You know what I'm saying? I've learned from you doing radio, because I'm watching Tracy, watching Snakecharma, so I can learn.
And I've learned, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like we need to do more of that. When you let me know that that I inspired you, encouraged you, that encourages me. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, we don't give each other the flowers while we're alive, type of thing. So I appreciate you and I honor you for that. But
I love it.
Journey.
Yeah, that's a great journey.
In the book.
In this book. Now, I read this book. I said, I'm not going to give it away. But it's a very exciting book. It's a deep book. So, like, what inspired you to do it? And can you explain to everybody, like, why you chose to go with that?
Okay, so let me start from the beginning. So I have a partner, and his name's Mike Curry. He's actually here, and he supports me, my guy. And when we got together, we both had so much things in common. He was a writer, I was a writer. He's into business. I'm into business. Entrepreneurship was something we was both really dedicated, passionate about. So we decided that we wanted to do something to highlight what we did and to help others. Because I feel like throughout my life, I've always been supporting people and doing things behind the scenes. And I never looked for a cookie or anything like that, because God really does take care of me. But I wanted to do something more official. You know what I'm saying? So I started my own business with Mike, Unseen Hands Media. And it's all about streamlining businesses, and we have apparel and things out like that. But the reason I started is because I wanted to own my own publishing. You know, that was something that was major for me, working with independent artists and dealing with the labels and just the industry and ownership and management. I was like, I have to learn the mechanics behind, being a publisher. So I had a book that I didn't get to drop yet that I've been working on for years, and I was so nervous. I was telling Mike about it. I was like, I want to drop this book, but I want to do it right. Now, Mike has a library. Like, he is an amazing author. He has a library, but he hadn't stepped out into the authorpreneurship either. So it was like new for us. So I was like, I'm going to write a book. So I wrote this book, believe it or not, in like 3 weeks.
What?
Yeah, I did. Because I needed a
This is your
book.
very
It's my very first book.
time
Not the
writing.
first. This is the first book I published, but not
Okay.
my first book that I have written. I chose Daddy Issues for many reasons. Because I feel like we all have a relationship with our father that should be highlighted, whether it's bad or good. The importance of fathers in the household is it's something that needs to be spoken of.
Yeah,
And this,
yeah.
even though this book is a fiction book, I wrote it based out of the city I grew up in, which Brockton, the 508 area. I concentrated on different things that I noticed my friends experienced with fathers being incarcerated, dealing with the mother who's dating a woman now because her the father went and did something to probably turn her against the attraction to men. I tapped into a buddy of mine who was dealing with a father who was a big-time drug dealer, gets locked up. His mother ended up on drugs. I wanted to really tap into the different relationships that are going on in society with fathers and children. So it's a great book.
It is. It's a very good book.
I wrote it really quick. I edited it myself. I did everything myself. And Mike, he was in the background rooting for me, and we was figuring things out together. But I needed something that I to be kind of like the test.
Okay. Say, look at this.
So he didn't even know I was dropping it out.
Really?
I was like,
Really?
History Month.
That's right.
He was gonna drop his first, but I'm like, I'm into administration. It's my thing. I'm like, I want to do it just because I know he loves writing, and I want to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's moving forward, and that I'm able to give people the right advice and information. So that's when I dropped Daddy Issues. After that, we dropped 3 Pounds of Pressure, and then I turned around and I dropped The Antidote, which is my second book. It's real spiritual. It's all about identifying snakes and being able to maneuver and finesse through life without participating in that grind, that slime, that lifestyle. Just being able to identify things early. Prevention is key for me. So I felt like, dealing with the industry and even life and family and friends, it's important to maintain self-control. I get into a lot of key attributes, kingdom principles, things that I feel like make you a better person. Self-care, tap into that. So, and then Mike dropped Shattered Dreams. So we have 4 books in 1 year under Unseen Hands. And we helped other authors behind the scenes. Everything's done behind the scenes. That's why it's called Unseen Hands. It's all about lifting your brothers, your sisters, your friends and family up, and not looking for to be caught up in a tag. Like a lot of people, you didn't tag me, or you didn't give me my trophy, or helping you get to the finish line. It's not about that. When God's using you, nobody can use you. And I feel like when people get into that mindset, they'll be able to have more joy and peace. And that's it.
That's what y'all got. That's what I love about you. Oh wait, no, there's other things now. So you tell me so much. No, there was something else I was going to ask you. Now I feel you might have said. Oh wait, I knew what I had written everything down. You don't have to edit this.
No, it's okay. Think. Was it about?
Okay, the industry, because I know you.
The industry.
You okay? Like with artists, because I know that sometimes you have you managed artists. So I know you've really helped to put a lot of artists on.
I never managed artists. With me, I'm big on paperwork. It's a serious commitment whenever you're signing anything, whether it's an agreement to manage someone or just to rent out a venue, because for years I did promotion too. I used to keep parties. I got tired of my girls having to pay at the door and doing weird stuff to get into clubs, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna rent out the venue. I'm gonna book the DJs. They ain't gonna act funny with y'all because I'm paying them. They're eating with me, and at the same time, y'all don't gotta do all that extra stuff. Your name's good at the door because you're part of the movement, And I had my cousin Sister Love, shout out to her. She was my partner for a long time, and shout out to Prime, the Boo. They worked heavily with helping me develop my vision, And And even though, you know, you might go through things where people are growing and stuff, it's always important to look back and recognize those individuals. So yeah, I worked with artists, worked with them.
Yeah.
I never signed no documentation. I never took $1 from an artist.
Wow.
Anything I did, I invested my own money when it came to supporting artists. You know what I mean? And I did that for a long time. I felt like I was putting too much into things that I felt I wasn't getting nothing back. And that was my journey with the artists.
Okay.
You know, and the different kind of, I want to say, like, artists have a lot of insecurities with trust, and you can't really blame them just because of the way the industry is and maybe the way these promoters jerk them and things like that. So it was just a conflict of interest when you're dealing with labels and all this other stuff, and you're trying to get artists to understand the game. And I'm on a BDS station, which gives out royalties. Shout out to WRBB. So that's another reason why I stuck with them.
Okay.
And I worked at 97.5 also, which is in Worcester.
So I don't know, I remember you were on two shows.
My numbers were so long on WRBB. It was crazy. I was getting so many people was reaching out to me. And, and also my buddy, shout out to Sir Jam, DJ Shabu, DJ 1C, Lady Girl. 97.5 is out of Worcester. Now what happened was the energy in WRBB when I first came was a little tense.
Really?
Yeah, like people, I feel like when you're a new person in any area, they want to test you, they want to challenge you, they want to, you know, do things to, you know, get to know you, and sometimes they're not doing it the right way. And, you know, so I found a new home in Worcester with 97.5. So I was doing both shows. I had 3 shows on 97.5.
Wow.
And I had the show on WRBB, and what I was doing was running artists back and forth.
So giving them both.
Yeah, just because it was like, there was this thing, like, everybody in Boston thinks that they're the only artists and the only people on the planet. And I'm like, I love my state.
Yeah.
I was born in Boston. I grew up in the 508. I know they get busy in the 508. They get money. I'm an example. So why are we sitting here, you know, competing with one another when the world is bigger than the city? So I was like, if I could get them to cross brand and it worked. Like, I was bringing artists out there from the 617 to the area and vice versa. And it was a dope feeling. And I did it all for free. And I only asked the artists to donate cans. So instead, I did
so good.
I had the can drive.
Look at you.
So I wanted to create that responsibility of being a good citizen that everybody, I feel like, should have in them. Like, we're responsible for giving back to somebody, or we're responsible for remembering where we came from and where we could be and where we're going. So I'm like, artists, they want to give me money, they want to give me weed, they want to give me sex. And like, you know how it is. Like, you know, and I ain't never, I never dealt with anybody out there like that. They could all say and vouch for me, because as a woman in any business, you got to make sure that you're on point when it comes to dealing with men.
I know you must deal with that a lot, and you're cute, you're pretty. I know you guys deal with that a lot. I'm so but let me tell you one thing: for any female out there, everybody talks. The females talk, the men talk. So if they're gonna talk about you sleeping around with one another, they're gonna talk about you the same way when you don't. So it's all about, you know, putting your best heel forward, like, you know, making sure your resume is clean. And then you have to have discipline, and that's why I recommend everybody get the Antidote. That's my second book. It introduces things that I feel like if I would have knew a long time ago, I would have been probably a lot better off in life right now. But I'm still good. Yeah, you're still good. And so I know, like, with your name, Snakecharma, like, I love the name, because I know I've heard you describe it. I want you to describe it for everybody what exactly that means.
So my line is, you don't have to snake it to make it. I feel like snake charming is it's a gift of discernment, for one. For two, it gives you the ability to deal with snakes in a way where you're able to control the environment, the atmosphere, your reactions. A snake charmer, when they're snake charming, they're in complete control. You know what I'm saying? They're dealing with the snake that, you know, is vicious, poisonous snake. The king cobra is one of the top snakes, and they deal with them when it comes to snake charming. So in the music industry, I utilize snake charmer to keep me in the right mindset. Like, Trees, you're dealing with music. You know these snakes. You control what they dance to and how they're gonna move and operate. You're the one with the platform. You don't have to play that if you don't want to play that. You don't have to interview that artist if you don't want to interview that artist. Who cares if don't know nobody like you? You're sitting here alone anyways with this equipment producing a sound, and hopefully, you know, you'll get buying, but even if you don't, you gotta be comfortable with your own tune. And God gave me that snake charmer.
I like that. I love that.
You know, they try to shorten it up like, hey, Snakey, and hey, Snake. And I'm like, you know what? Like, call me the charmer, Trees, whatever. But I'm definitely not a snake. I'm not into none of that demonic stuff. I pray with you before I pray on you, and that's what it's about.
Like that. It reminds me of this scripture. I don't remember exactly what it is, no paraphrase, but it says, be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. And I think that would be the snake. Because
understanding how other people's minds work is going to make you a stronger person in any battlefield. Just like I'm not a religious person, but I could walk with anybody in any form or fashion of praise or worship, whatever they're doing, because I know who I am and what brings me to a better relationship with God. And my position is not judging other people, but learning from one another. So if you're a Catholic and I'm a Muslim and we both love the Most High, why wouldn't I want to learn more about you if I'm in so much love with the Most High to understand what gets you your favor, or what, you know, what brings y'all closer? Because everybody out here, I feel like they're trying to dictate people's relationships with God. And for me, that's just like, you know, if I know what everybody's doing and understand their culture, the way they think, how they was brought up, why they eat what they eat, then that's going to make me a stronger candidate for any position. That's when I got to go alongside of them, because now I know what they're going to bring to the table. I know how they're going to respond or react, you know, so
that's very wise.
You got to think like a snake. If you want, and I talk about that in my book. You don't have to be a snake, but if you know what I mean, if I know how a snake moves and things that will cause them to do snake stuff, I can catch them right away. And they don't even got to know I catch them. I don't address things that are beneath me. I'm going to let you know that either. And I try to encourage people to do that also, because it don't make no sense to give your energy to things that aren't going to benefit you. Now, sometimes you do got to address stuff, but if it's beneath you, nah, you too fly for that. And I tell people that all the time. You know, like, so people might talk about me, might not have heard me say anything. That's because they got to get their bread up.
Okay. Right. Exactly. No, exactly. Real talk.
Okay. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Because you know, people talk, and, you know, there's so much rumors, and everybody knows everybody's business, but they don't even know what's going on in their life.
True, very true. Right.
So if you heard anything about me, you could believe it if you want to, or you can get to know me. The antidote is a great way to do it.
Yeah, I gotta get that
daddy
too.
issues.
Check this very
my
good
dad.
book.
Shout out to my dad too. I love my father to death. I have an amazing father. We go through our things, but when I first dropped this, I don't know. My dad's side didn't really support me that much, for one. But that's another story. But two, my dad's like, man, you know, I wrote a whole book about me, man. You gotta throw $10 in the car at me, like, hey, yo. I'm like, Dad, this book isn't about you. And then he's smiling once I'm telling him, you know, different things, and he's proud, and my mother's proud, and it started there. It started with a good foundation.
And I know you're a mom. You got a great son. And so he's like a little businessman too, of course. Let's tell us about that, because I see him. He's like running his own stuff. What's going on with that?
Excuse me. So my son, his name's Hassan, Malik. Everybody calls him Malik. He has Malik Customs right now. Let me tell you an interesting fact about my son. He has got straight A's since he was a kid, all the way up to 10th grade. So, and he's not in no baby classes. He's in the good classes, advanced honors and all that. And he done got met the mayor, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Student of the year, and he has so much success with his relationship as far as dealing with schools and the education system. He's a pretty shy guy, but for me to be a single mom, like, that was something that I always worried about, not being able to do it by myself. And that's another thing I want to encourage single parents, whether you're a mom or dad, like, it's possible. You just really gotta, you are the example for your children. So what they see you do, they're gonna want to do it, and they learn from you. So I think my son watching me grind and, you know, get up at 5 in the morning to go to work and, you know, just doing all that, it helped him. So now he's currently an HVAC student. So looking forward to him getting his certifications pretty soon. And in addition to that, he does custom apparel. So while we was on the pandemic, I dropped the books, of course, and I also have apparel, Rich's Gangster. I'll share some of that clothing and things like that with you. But needless to say, my son learned how to use all the equipment from the press machines, the printers, and now he's dropping his own clothing line.
Now, how old is he?
He's gonna be 16.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's dope. That is nuts.
So, you know, he's a shy kid, and he has vitiligo, which is a skin pigmentation disease. So when he was younger, I had so much issues with bullying, kids calling him like a pit bull, two-faced, just all kinds of stuff. Now he got a little gray beard. He's 16 with a little white gray beard. Yeah. He's fly.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's another thing, like, you know, we're all born with different things. You gotta love yourself. And they wanted me to, like, put makeup on it. I had people like, you should put makeup on it. Or you could take them and have laser surgery and get the pigment cells to
come back.
Yeah, and it was like, and you know, as a mom, you're like, dang, I should do that. I don't want my son not to, you know, to go through life like that. But it just brought me back to realizing how blessed we are. Like, he could have been blind. He could have had one arm, you know. And I explained that to him. I was like, Malik, you know, do you feel any pain? Like, no. I was like, you feel anything like you can't do something because of that? He's like, no. I was like, then that's your trademark from the Lord. Yeah, that's a blessing. Like, so he runs around. Somebody say he got vitiligo, he'd be like, it's a beauty mark.
Right. I see what it's right. He looks great.
So yeah.
I love it. So I know, like, you know, you're really big on family, but you came from like a musical family, you said?
Yeah, all my
everybody, like,
I have DJs in my family, singers, rappers, models, other radio hosts, DJs.
You have a huge family, it seems like.
Yeah.
I'm turning around, you got all these cousins.
Yeah, I do. And a lot of them are older than me. I'm like one of the youngest out of the bunch of folks who are out doing industry stuff, and they always made me pave my way. I must say that.
Okay.
Like celebrity friends and things like that. They never just was like, you know, I'm putting you on a tree, so I'm introducing you to somebody. A lot of them didn't come back and holler at me until they see me, like, building with another celebrity, for example. So it was like, yeah, that's my little cousin or something like that. And it was like the power of the grind. Like, the power of the grind. When you're grinding and hustling and passionate and you mean well, God will put the people in your life. And even with family, it could be like a competitive, challenging type of thing. Because maybe, I don't know if it's like, I don't know why it is like that in life, but
I don't know.
I've been blessed to have some people to look and watch and model when it comes to, like, music and art and things like that. So yeah, my family's long.
Great. Now, did you ever sing or rap? Because you were always a writer.
Yeah, I did. I used to do music. Yeah, I used to sing in the church.
So you used to sing and did you rap too? Yeah,
I did rap. When I was young, though, wow, like, maybe like 14, 15. My brother, shout out to Blue Jai Daddy Records. My brother was my manager. Him and his wife, they did a lot behind the scenes to support me. My brother, I met so many people, like from Cash Money. My brother was introducing me to so many people young. Yeah, that was a blessing. My brother, he's a producer, and his kids, they're all into the industry now and things like that. But he believed in me, and he loved music. So he'd be like, "We're going to New York." I'll be like 12, 13. I'll spit, write, whatever they wanted me to do, because I just love music. Yeah. But once I became an adult, I was like, I can do so much more than just be on a stage. Nothing wrong with rapping. Right. Ain't nothing wrong with rapping and singing. I love it. But I just feel like there's levels to everything in life. And if I know that I could be someone who could educate artists on the business and, help them with the admin side. Yeah. Because I do flyers, EPKs, websites, anything. Like, why do I gotta be dancing on a stage? Why can't I, you have other skills? Yeah, I have other skills that are probably more dynamic than that. Yeah. So, it was just, I feel like we're all musicians at heart. Like, deep down, like y'all was all singing in the shower. Right. We were all banging on pots and pans, especially if you come from a black family. I don't know. Right. So, like, it's just one of those. Yeah, it was felt, you around it so much, but you got the other skills, and so you feel like you learned. But there's a lot that comes with being a rapper or a singer. Yeah. It's the whole entertainment piece. Yeah. And that's kind of like, an area where I feel like it's a gift. Like, not everybody, you can rap, you can sing your brains off, but if you can't get on stage with a bunch of people and perform and get the audience to be engaged, then you might as well be behind the scenes ghostwriting. And that's where I found myself. Like, I felt more comfortable, like, writing. Yeah, writing. Yeah. So I'm not used to cameras and stuff. She's shy. I know you're used to being on the other side and people interviewing people. I really appreciate you coming out today out here between me. I'm honored to have you. I think you're such a great person. Like I said, I've always been such an encouragement to me. You know what I mean? But so like that's the other thing. Your EPKs. Now, for some people, artists out there, they may not know exactly what an EPK is. Okay, so outside of like contracts and templates and things like that, streamline businesses, I do EPKs, which is electronic press kits. There's all kinds of different styles of press kits out there. There's like one-sheeters and there's all kinds of different things that people do. And a press kit is basically your portfolio, resume, something that you would deliver to a radio host, DJ, somebody on give it to your publicist. Okay. Anybody in the media would be somebody that you would give an EPK. Now the EPK consists of a bio, pictures, professional pictures, video links, your social media platforms, websites, any and everything that has to do with you. But what I do is I do an electronic press kit, which is similar to like a web design. So it's a link. And you just share the link. You can share the link through email with everybody. Real quick and simple. Versus typing up your whole bio, giving all your links, because sometimes what people don't understand is that it takes a lot of memory too, in people's mailboxes and things like that. Sometimes they don't want all that. They don't need all. They don't have time. So the link. It's a shareable link. You share it, they click on it, and everything all nice, pretty, fly, dope. Right. See everything. See everything. And that's something that I do. Bios. Yeah. So you can do everything. Like artists really hit this when I'm talking to you about the business and learning these things, really helping them get their stuff out there. I love that. I love that about you. Yeah, I do one for you. I do. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do for everybody. Like I've done one for Coach Kev out of Texas. He's dope. He has his own day in Texas. Yeah, I got some dope buddies who trust me with their life.
Wow.
I feel like because when you're passionate about something and that's your dream, you want to be that.
Yeah.
To have somebody like me, I don't know, I don't think people realize how important that is. Sometimes the DJs, the radio hosts, publicists, managers, people trust you with their life. So it's like I don't even take on jobs or take money unless I know it's something that I could first commit to and then to execute according to what they want done. So part of the process is just assessing the individual.
Okay.
And everybody has different timelines.
Yeah.
Things going on. So you'll have a dope one because you went from comedian to having your own radio show, and I know you push for artists, promote, model, stop it.
I try, you know what I'm saying? I try.
No, you do.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, Teresa, for coming on Trill TV. So great to have you. And just let everybody know again where they can get your book, where they can find you, everything that you do.
So, Snakecharma with an A, you can Google me. www.snakecharma.com is my website. All the information on the show. I have the Music and Motivation Morning Show. It's on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon on 104.9 FM, WRBB, legendary station, Northeastern University. Under the Music and Motivation Morning Show, I have the Life After Prison, which is a segment geared towards highlighting the perspectives of those who was incarcerated and their transition into society. And we share tons of resources. And there's the lifeafterprison.com, where you can get so much information from legal advice to how to locate an inmate and things like that. Then I have the Indie Report, which was my baby. My Indie Report segment, I highlight an artist each month on my website. In addition to that, play indie music and tap into the mindset of the artists and the music industry professionals. Then I have the Eat Better, Feel Better segment, because I'm all about health and wellness.
Now, wait, is that all on the
Music and Motivation?
Okay.
So it's a morning show, it's a 2-hour morning show, and each week my goal is to share something different. I've had the Indie Report, I went hard and all that. So I was like, WRBB was so dope and so nice to me. They were willing to, as long as I didn't leave because I was gonna leave radio. They my boss and everything, they just appreciated me and the energy that I brought to the station. So I was like, okay, I'll come back. Can I get a morning show? And boom, look at God.
I love it.
Yeah. So I have the Eat Better, Feel Better segment, which is all about concentrating on self-care and things like that. So yeah, and ms_snakecharma on Instagram. My email is imboutmybusiness@gmail.com, because I'm about my business. It's imboutmybusiness@gmail.com. My books, Daddy Issues and The Antidote, they're everywhere. Another blessing from God. I work with some dope distributors, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target.
Really? Wait,
Amazon.
so I can go into Barnes & Noble and buy
You gotta, well, I don't know how that works because of the pandemic, but I know if you go on the online right now, on any of them, you could purchase the books. But if you get them through me and my publishing company, because you gotta do you just gotta do things, and I had to do that because everybody is not gonna know my website, so I wanted to get the book out there. But Unseen Hands, UNSEENHANDZ.com. We have my books, other books, the apparel, all the admin services, everything's available there. It's unseenhands.com. And if you purchase the books, I'll sign them. I'm dealing with the post office, another thing. God is good. So they could come up and they pick up. If you order a book, they gonna come. The mailman gonna come get my stuff and boom, it's out.
Wow, nice. You got it all. All is working.
All is working. So
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming, Tracy. Thank you, everybody. Tune into Trill TV. Please support this woman because she supports you. Support Tracy. Thank you.